It is 10:01 a.m. and I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Directors of Friday, July 28th, 2023. Please note, this meeting is being recorded. Thank you to members of the public here with us today, whether remotely or in person. I appreciate everyone's patience as we move through today's meeting. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
All right, good morning again, everyone. We're going to start with Director Conroy. Thank you. Director Dorsey.
Present.
Ingardio is absent. Garbarino.
Here.
Giudice.
Here.
Grosbold.
Here.
Hernandez. Here. Knighton.
Here.
Moulton Peters is absent. Parr. Present. Rabbit.
Here.
Verdoni.
Here.
Safai is absent. Snyder.
Here.
Stephanie.
Present.
Here.
Here.
Second Vice President Hill is absent. First Vice President Friend is absent. President Terry.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Director Rabbit. Finished speaking of public hearing.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary and Ms. Bach, let's go to public comment, and we'll start with Mr. Pilpel, who's here in person. Mr. Pilpel.
Good morning, Director David Pilpel. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, that was you. I just wanted to recap the topics I discussed. I talked at a bit of length about bus vehicles, facilities, and real estate, SB 532, and a couple of provisions related to the district. The Brown Act bills that were discussed before the board a few months ago, and after those at a future meeting, bus routing in San Francisco, and my hope that Golden Gate will explore routing on Market Street rather than Mission downtown, and those are the main topics. I did have a bit of dialogue with the general manager, Mulligan, just prior to today's meeting, which I appreciated, and just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Pilpel. That's all we have in person. Ms. Bach, who do we have on the line?
Good morning. Our first speaker this morning is Kimberly Renee Gamboa. Kimberly Renee?
Good morning. My name is Kimberly Renee Gamboa, and I am holding one of my favorite photos of my 18-year-old son, Kyle Emerson Gamboa, smiling from ear to ear in his high school class picture. Kyle jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge on September 20th, 2013 at 11:45 a.m. Countless numbers of suicides have happened at the Golden Gate Bridge. Countless numbers of people are affected, in addition to the family and friends of the loved one that died. People who witness the suicide of someone they don't even know are indelibly marked forever. I really don't know how the people that work on the Golden Gate Bridge, including everyone that responds to the suicides, deal with the death, the sadness, and despair. I believe it's not just something you get used to. Witnessing a suicide changes you forever, even when you know nothing of the person that just died. The loss of life that could have been prevented, all the what ifs, and the fleeting impulse that drives a person to suicide at the Golden Gate Bridge that could have been prevented. Worth it. The completion of the suicide deterrent will prevent many future deaths. Preventing just one death makes the suicide deterrent more than worth it. The suicide deterrent will give so many people who want to end their life at the Golden Gate Bridge another chance at life. And it will also prevent the trauma of suicide at the Golden Gate Bridge that affects more people than can be imagined. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gamboa. Ms. Bach, the next speaker, please.
Our next speaker is John Holden. John, go ahead.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, hello, good morning. My name is John Holden. I'm a bus operator and I'm also a longtime San Francisco native. I would just like to thank Mona Babauta for her service as our Deputy General Manager as she's leaving for another agency. I believe that, respect and acknowledgement go a long ways, even though we can agree to disagree on some of the issues. Hopefully the board and the general manager can find a replacement that could mentor some of the middle managers and to also have a more of an on-site presence so employees can feel safe and respected and know that there's boundaries in place for employees to come to work and feel safe and secure. I feel that a lot of the issues go to HR unfairly, and if the transit division was doing their job, HR and risk management and the lawyers and would not have to intercede as much as they are with the transit division. So hopefully you can find a wonderful candidate that can mentor the middle managers and to shepherd this agency through this challenging time. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces coming up with Bay Area Seamless, San Francisco's growth, Spur, and all those things. So thank you so much. I love working for the bridge. It's an honor to work for the bridge as a native San Franciscan, and I urge the board and the general manager to take an active approach in finding a wonderful candidate to lead the transit agency in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Ms. Bach, are there any other speakers, please?
If you will indulge me, I believe someone has joined the line. I just want to check if you don't mind, President Terrio.
Yes, please go ahead.
Perfect, thank you. Is there anybody else that's joined us that would like to speak this morning? Please use ** to unmute yourself and let me know. Okay, I am not hearing anybody else. So that concludes our public speakers this morning.
Thank you, Ms. Bach. That then is it for public comment. General Manager Mulligan, you frequently have things to say after public comment. Do you this time?
Sure. I'll thank all the speakers. Mr. Pilpel spoke yesterday at some length about the district's real estate holdings. I would like to share with Mr. Pilpel that I have advised the board that real estate decisions have long-term ramifications, and so it's not wise to make a real estate decision with long-term ramifications based on a temporal condition. And we always want to plan for the future. Those that went before us built 6 with 10-foot wide sidewalks when it wasn't needed. So by the same token, some of our real estate isn't being fully utilized today. And I point to AC Transit, whose Richmond yard was closed for about 6 years. For a while there, where they were going through some bumps in the road. That yard has been open for several years now, and it's vibrant and integral to their system. And so, at this juncture, the Bridge District is not looking at reducing its real estate holdings. With respect to Senate Bill 532, Senator Wiener is a very effective legislator. I think this will test the limits of his ability because it's a piece of legislation that has garnered some opposition pretty quickly out the gate. It does not directly affect us. The legislation does expressly highlight that from a policy perspective, you can't take San Mateo Hayward Bridge tolls and use it to subsidize a bus going across the Golden Gate Bridge. So it does exclude us. The author, though, acknowledges that we do have bus service across the Richmond Santa Fe Bridge. We received Regional Measure 2 and Regional Measure 3 money for it. So they're interested if the bill moves forward in making some modifications so that that bus service would be eligible for it. With respect to Ms. Gamboa, I just want to thank her for her tireless advocacy, her and her husband Manuel, and she's very astute. It does take a toll on our employees. We spend a lot of effort trying to keep our employees healthy. They keep each other healthy. It is a very, very difficult job for them. And the completion of the net will make their jobs a little bit more manageable. So we look forward to that date. With respect to Mr. Holden, yes, Ms. Mona Babauta sadly is leaving us. Since we were successful in recruiting her, we hope to be successful in recruiting someone as good as Mona to replace her. It's really a good opportunity for her. It's bad for us. She will be running an agency in Southern California. She's been fantastic in so many ways. In the few years that she was here, she dealt with 2 fires in a pandemic. One of the fires burned an half block on 3 sides of our Santa Rosa bus yard. So we, had no shortage of challenges, and she's just been admirable in leading our bus division through that. Very creative. Transit agencies across the whole country are struggling to hire employees. A couple years ago, she partnered with the community colleges in the North Bay and our ATU local, who have an apprenticeship program and a pre-apprenticeship program in Marin and Sonoma counties to attract new workers to our workforce. And so we will find someone to carry on and build upon all the great work that she's done. And with that, this concludes my response to public comments.
Thank you, General Manager Mulligan. The next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. It's been distributed to members of the board. You've had a chance to review it. Are there comments or corrections on the consent calendar? Yes, Director Thayer.
Yes, President Terrio. I will not be voting on the consent calendar as I was not at the June 23rd meeting, so I will not be approving the minutes of that.
Thank you. Fortunately, we still have a quorum after that.
Do you?
Yeah, we do. So are there other directors with comments, questions, corrections? You did the same also, okay. Still a quorum, yes.
I was not at the meeting.
Oh, now I have to count.
Now it gets tricky.
Yeah, we're good.
Still love it.
Okay. Anyone else want to bow out of this?
This will get complicated.
Okay.
One more. We have one more.
Okay. Are there any corrections on the minutes? No, then is there a motion to approve them?
So moved.
And motion and a second. Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
First and second on the consent calendar, starting with excuse. Dorsey.
Aye.
Ingardio is absent. Garbarino.
Aye.
Giudice.
Yes.
Roseball.
Aye.
Hernandez. Is not at the meeting. Thank you. Maston.
Aye.
Milton Peters is absent. Parr.
Aye.
Rabbit.
Aye.
Verdoni.
Aye.
Safai is absent. Snyder.
Aye.
Stephanie.
Aye.
Here is excusing herself. Second Vice President Hill is absent. First Vice President Cochran is absent, and President Terrio.
Yes.
There we go. We have 11.
11 and we get by. Okay. Next is the General Manager's report. Again, General Manager Mulligan.
Thank you, President Terrio. My written report is before you. I'll just mention a couple items very briefly. One is, it is noteworthy that we did not have any public comment on Alexander Avenue today. So I just want to acknowledge that in a democracy, advocacy does get results. And so that is good news. We have restriped Alexander Avenue. We've had delineation and road reflectors. Also, we put out an RFP to hire a surveying firm. We received 2 back. And earlier this week, we did execute the contract. So efforts are underway on Alexander Avenue, and I do want to thank the public for their advocacy and reminders to keep us on a good path. With respect to our business, Bridge Boston Ferry post-pandemic, travel remains below pre-pandemic levels, but it's particularly commute travel that's down, recreational visitation, and non-work-related travel is pretty robust. And while travel is way down, and we talk about comparing it to pre-pandemic levels, it is worth noting that we are still trending upward, that we have a long ways to go. We just finished a fiscal year, July 1 through June 30th, and last fiscal year that we just concluded, bridge traffic was up 2.6%, but we did have a small toll increase in there, so toll revenues for the bridge were about 10% compared to the prior year, which is helpful. It's still down compared to pre-pandemic levels. On the transit side, ridership is returning. Our bus ridership for the last fiscal year was up 26% compared to the prior fiscal year, and our ferry ridership was up over 2/3. And so we are seeing, month over month, year over year growth. And so while we have a long ways to go, Phoenix is rising in San Francisco, and we're excited to be part of that story. With that, I'll move on to presentations. We have one 25-year service award this month. And I would be remiss if I didn't draw attention to the stellar work of Amaret Ko Wong. Amaret Ko Wong has been with the district 25 years. She was originally hired as administrative assistant in the general manager's office. And needless to say, she's promoted several times. She's the 9th secretary of the district since its inception in the 1920s as an organization, and she's the first Asian American to serve as an officer of the board. In her spare time, in addition to being a great ombudsman person for the district and our biggest advocate, she enjoys spending time with her family and friends, traveling, bowling, and playing softball. And for the record, she is a total ringer. If you ever have a tournament in softball or bowling, you want Amrit on your team. Those that have seen it, well, yeah, and she sneaks in there. And yeah, anyway, there's some good stories about other agencies that have borrowed Amrit. So, Amrit, would you like to say anything?
No, I mean, I love my job. I do. Born and raised in San Francisco, lived here all my life in the Richmond district, and looked at the bridge every day. Went to George Washington High School, stared at the bridge from Esplanade every day, and never thought I would end up at the bridge. I really didn't. Life takes a lot of unexpected turns. It always does. And some stints in your life early on when you fancy wanting to travel the world and everything, you still come back to San Francisco. You end up here. Doesn't matter. The draw is always here. My family's here. I have a really huge family here in San Francisco too. I mean, I've got 26 cousins, first cousins. My mom has 10 brothers and sisters, So we have a really big family here, and we're anchored in the San Francisco. We're wholeheartedly here. I can say that. So thank you very much for the opportunity to stay as the secretary of district. I can't thank everyone enough.
Congratulations.
I have one final thing to mention. For the Employee of the Month Committee, which is made up of employees, not managers, selected PC Support Kevin Lynn from the District Division as the Employee of the Month for July of this year. He helps with lots of things, but the rollout of what's known as Big Web Costas Module, which is total bus scheduling insider information, was phenomenal. We changed how our bus operators can bid work. It was a very paper-intensive process, and to launch it took a lot of interactions one-on-one with bus operators, in addition to all the IT magic in the background. And so his colleagues recognized him for not just his day-to-day expertise, but the tremendous heavy lift that was involved in that. To take bus operators, to give them email accounts, walk them through how to do it, and to make it successful is vital. It makes them bidding again. Every 4 times a year, they bid for the work, what shifts they get based on seniority. It's very complicated, very convoluted, and to modernize that in a way that was embraced by folks that, their day-to-day job doesn't have a lot of technology in it, is just a tremendous accomplishment. So his colleagues just call him out for that. He was born in Myanmar, like a lot of district employees. He is an immigrant. He now lives in Vacaville, California, like a lot of our employees. And he has 2 children. In his free time, he loves to travel, boxing, and listening to music, as well as nature and outdoor activities with loved ones. And so I'm proud to announce that he is the Employee of the Month. When we're back in person at the board meeting, we will have the recognition employees here, including the Employees of the Month, so you can meet them every month. It's something we did before the pandemic. Half the board may not know that reality, but before the pandemic, we would, with great fanfare, bring those employees up to the front of the room, present them with things, and allow them to have a few moments to say a few words. And once the elevator's fixed, we'll be back to doing that. So that concludes my report.
They got a ribbon, didn't they?
We have little trinkets.
Yeah.
It's all about the bling.
Are there questions or comments for there's elevator comment to vote? Yes, Director Garbarino.
Well, if appropriate, I would love to get on that plane schedule. And Dick too, he's laughing. So just
Well, on
to be able to-
Saturday, I'll be at Jackson. Tomorrow, I'll be at Jackson Playground.
There you go. See, I knew you were all wanting that. What position? What position?
Wherever.
Where
they want me to.
Yeah.
Director Fear, your hand was up.
Yes, I did have a question, and this is a question that does not need to be answered now. For Representative Mulligan, in the report on page 2, it refers to the one-time federal COVID relief funding, and I was wondering, maybe for our next meeting, unless you have an answer now, do we have a projection of, with the trend being encouraging, do we have a projection of when that one-time federal money is going to run out and where our budget will be at that time?
Certainly, I can answer that. For background, we received a total of $282.5 million of one-time COVID relief money through several rounds. The first CARES Act, CRISA, and then the American Rescue Plan were all administered by the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. Then there was a final round, a nationwide competition where we were one of 35 agencies nationwide to receive extra money. We received $75 million of that. So we've been spending down that $282.5 million. We've been spending it down as fast as we can in case Congress changes their mind. So we obligated all the money quickly, and we're burning through it as quickly as possible. As we burn through that, some toll money we would have spent, say, for bus driver salaries, we're putting in the bank. We call that our toll carryover. So we're spending down the money fast, but between the CARES Act money and the toll carryover, we've got several years of resources ahead of us, which gives us the opportunity to not rely on a crystal ball today that may or may not be right, but to go a little further down the path to see what things look like, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And so we do have a runway. It's important that we continue to be prudent and manage expenses, because if we had kept all of our bus service that we had before the pandemic through the pandemic, we'd be broke today. And so we, scale back bus, we scale back ferry, we scale back administration. But our goal is to add service back and to bring, hire people as resources are available, because we have the federal money, but more important as customer demand calls for it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Are there other comments for the questions for the general manager on his report? Seeing none, we'll move along to the attorney's report.
Thanks, President Terrell. My written report's before you. Haven't taken any questions. We will have one closed session today for a general liability. Noted on
I need then a motion to accept the attorney's report.
Second.
Second. On the motion, Madam Secretary.
So let's start. We don't need to accept the attorney's report.
Oh, that was your note, and so I was.
That's right. Don't follow my note.
I would not follow your notes. Okay.
Don't follow.
I didn't remember we had done that before, but I was trusting.
That's why I wasn't. You didn't say anything.
And the engineering report you've seen, we did not discuss it yesterday because there was no building and operating committee meeting yesterday. But if anyone has any questions on the engineer's report, ask them now. I see none. And so there are no other reports. We can move along to basic business. The Rural Policy Industrial Relations Committee did meet yesterday and discussed the item coming before you. Although it seemed a fairly straightforward discussion. Chair Hernandez, would you please present the item?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Rules Committee recommends the approval of item 8A1 to approve continuation of an enhanced employment recruitment program for all regular full-time positions. Approve continuation of the incentive payment for the bus operator pre-apprenticeship and student bus operators program. Approve continuation of the employee referral program, and to update applicable district policy accordingly as detailed in the staff report. And Mr. President, I so move.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I hear a couple of possible seconds. Is there a discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Madam Secretary. This will be you taking the roll call.
I will take a roll call vote.
Thank you.
With the first and second on 8A1, starting with Director Conroy.
Aye.
Dorsey.
Aye.
Garbarino is absent. Garbarino.
Aye.
Giudice.
Yes.
Grosbull.
Aye.
Hernandez.
Aye.
Maston.
Aye.
Bolton Peters is absent. Parr.
Aye.
Rabbit. Verdoni.
Aye.
Safai is absent. Snyder.
Aye.
Stephanie.
Aye.
Beer.
Aye.
Second Vice President Hill is absent. First Vice President Cochran is absent. President Terrio.
Yes.
Thank you. You have 14 ayes.
14 ayes. The motion passes. Chair Hernandez, I have nothing more listed for you. Is there anything more for us from you?
Thank you, Mr. President. No, that's all.
Thank you very much, Chair Hernandez. Then moving along to the Finance and Auditing Committee, again, the item that's coming before you was discussed yesterday. Chair Rabbit, would you present on it, please?
Thank you, President Terrio. The Finance Auditing Committee recommends the approval of item 8B1 to authorize the general manager to file an application with the Metropolitan Transportation Commission for fiscal year 23-24 Transportation Development Act, State Transit Assistance, and Regional Measure 2 operating funds to support bus, ferry, and paratransit services in the amount of $30,942,692 in any related versions, as detailed in the staff report.
There is a motion. And again, is there a second? Second. There's a second. Is there any discussion from the board on this motion? I'm seeing no hands up. Madam Secretary, that means we get another roll call vote.
Thank you. Voting with item 8B1 with the first and second, starting with Director Conrad.
Aye.
Dorsey.
Aye.
Mingardio is absent. Garbarino.
Aye.
Giudice.
Yes.
Roseball.
Aye.
Hernandez.
Aye.
Maston.
Aye.
Moulton Peters is absent. Parr.
Aye.
Abbott.
Aye.
Redoni.
Aye.
Safai is absent. Snyder.
Aye.
Stephanie.
Aye.
Spear.
Aye.
Second Vice President Hill is absent. First Vice President Cochran's absent. President Terrio.
Yes.
Thank you. You have 14.
14 ayes. That motion also passes. Chair Rabbit, anything more, please?
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Chair Rabbit. That is it for action items. I see no list of folks wishing to address the board. There is no special order of business today. We do, however, have a closed session. Do we, Mr. Manolius?
Yes.
And so I believe it's time to go into that.
Thank you, President Terrio. At this time, the board will go into closed session to talk about some existing litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9A. The case is called Bronco Popovich versus the district.
Okay. Give us a second. We're going to clear the room. All right. Closed session.
Hi all, please be patient. We've got something going on with our sound. Just if you can just give me a few moments, I'll check in with the room. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're ready to go. Take us out of closed session, please.
Thank you, President Terrio. The board met in closed session to deal with some existing litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9A. A case called Bronco Popovich versus Sylvia Bridge District, and gave its attorney appropriate guidance on how to handle that.
Thank you, Mr. Manolius. There is no new business before us. There are a couple of communications that you saw listed. If you want copies of them, please let Ms. Colwell know. The last item before us is adjournment. So a couple of motions, one of which can serve as a second. Yeah. Is there any objection to adjourning? Seeing none, I will say we are adjourning in honor of Annie Byung-Ai Choi. And so let's have a moment of silence, please, for Ms. Ai Choi. Thanks, everybody.